to you. Finally, UAE and energy are synonymous, and so I think it's only fitting that we have a representative from ExxonMobil serving as our spokesperson today for the energy sector, and in fact also representing His Excellency the Ambassador. Please join me in welcoming Rob Franklin, President of Upstream Ventures, ExxonMobil Corporation.
Thank you, David. Your Excellency, indeed your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it's my great honor to join you at this special lunch today hosted by the National U.S. Arab Chamber of Commerce. This afternoon we celebrate the achievements and contributions of His Excellency. For nearly 2 years, most of you have known His Excellency as the Ambassador of the United Arab Emirates to the United States. But a somewhat more detailed look at his life shows that indeed for his entire career, the Ambassador has distinguished himself as a tireless worker on behalf of his country and a man of vision, striving to improve international ties of friendship, security, and understanding. It is my privilege to introduce him. Following his graduation from Cairo American College, Ambassador al-Otaiba furthered his education in the United States at Georgetown University, where he earned a degree in international relations. He also attended the National Defense University here in Washington, D.C. as an international fellow. By combining his love, of course, of his homeland with his extensive experience in the United States, the Ambassador has already left a strong imprint on relations between the United States and the UAE, and indeed between the United States and the whole Gulf region. In a few short years, the Ambassador has elevated the profile of the UAE, increasing the prospects for economic partnership, expanded security cooperation, and mutual investment. Just in recent months, for instance, the UAE played an important role in President Obama's National Security Summit, advanced the bilateral 123 agreement, which supports the peaceful use of nuclear power generation, and further positioned itself as a leading investor in renewable sources of energy. The key to many of these successes has been the UAE's visionary leadership and the Ambassador's willingness to engage in both personal as well as professional diplomacy. On a recent visit to Texas, the Ambassador took time after an international trade speech to meet with students who attended the event. And as you've heard earlier, in an effort to raise funds for the Children's National Medical Center in Washington, His Excellency volunteered to have his head shaved. I'm not sure that any of us know another international diplomat around the world who would make such an effort even for such a good cause. As the Ambassador has often said, the UAE has excellent relations with the United States and a long history as a source of tolerance and stability in the world. His Excellency's role as a leader in promoting greater understanding of the UAE and its global contributions began early in his career. For 7 years, he served as the Director of International Affairs for the Court of His Highness, the Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi. During this time, he was a senior counselor to His Highness General Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed, Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi. In these roles, he helped strengthen the UAE's security and economic relations throughout the region and with the US. In addition to playing a key role in enhancing the UAE's national security and anti-terrorism efforts, he also strengthened the UAE's enforcement of export control laws and coordinated counter-proliferation activities with allies. Most recently, Ambassador al-Otaiba has helped guide Abu Dhabi's leadership in multinational discussions on best practices for sovereign wealth funds. Surveying these accomplishments in such a young man, we see that in a period where the world faces financial uncertainties, of course energy challenges, and global security risks, the ambassador has shown the ability to articulate a shared vision for a better world and the capacity to work tirelessly to achieve that vision through cooperation. Your Excellency, on behalf of ExxonMobil, let me extend our thanks. Thank you for your efforts to build stronger relationships for the benefit of the United Arab Emirates, the United States of America, and the people, businesses, and investors of both nations. And thank you for using your skills, knowledge, and energy to promote the personal ties and international partnerships that allow governments, companies, and citizens to cooperate and innovate to build a brighter future. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to welcome His Excellency Yusuf al-Otaiba.
Thank you, Robert, for that very generous and unnecessary embellishment and introduction. Ambassador of the Year. That's very impressive. Far more impressive when you consider how much little time I actually spend in Washington being the ambassador. Word around town is that the State Department may actually think of implementing some requirements for staying in the city for a minimum amount of time. So thank you. Thank you, everyone, for coming here today. It's really a pleasure for me to be here, and I'm truly, truly honored to be Ambassador of the Year. I would especially like to thank David Hamoud and the rest of the staff of the Chamber. Your work to strengthen the commercial ties between the U.S. and the Arab world is extremely important. It's a key part of my mission here in Washington as well, so thank you for being a good partner. Ladies and gentlemen, the importance of building economic bridges cannot be underestimated. As a diplomat, I view this endeavor not just in terms of profits to be made, but also in terms of the relationships they create. Commerce drives people-to-people connections, bridges cultural divides, and creates shared interests. And as the UAE has developed from a limited, oil-based state to a diversified player in the global economy, it's done so with the help and counsel of numerous American business partners, many of whom are with us here today. Just at my own table, we have representatives from Lockheed Martin and Northrop Grumman, two companies who have played a significant role in enhancing the UAE's defense capacity, and Occidental Petroleum, our partner in the groundbreaking Dolphin Gas project. The UAE now is the U.S.'s largest global export market in the Arab world, and the 20th largest market for the U.S. globally, ahead of Spain, Ireland, and Indonesia. The UAE purchased over $12 billion worth of U.S. goods and services in 2009, and currently more than 750 U.S. firms have a presence in our country, from Starbucks to Bechtel to Krispy Kreme. But it wasn't always this way. Less than 50 years ago, the area we now call the UAE did not produce a single barrel of oil and actually relied on imports to meet its modest hydrocarbon needs. The principal source of income back then was the pearl diving industry. At the time, local divers would collect pearls from the shallow waters of the Gulf. Those pearls were then sold to jewelry manufacturers who would then distribute them to buyers across Europe and the US. But in 1916, the bottom fell out of the UAE's pearl industry. It wasn't shifting consumer tastes or global economic catastrophe, but rather technological innovation that made this take place. Half a world away from the UAE, someone simply figured out how to make a better and cheaper pearl. And in 1916, a Japanese entrepreneur patented a new technology for the development of cultured pearls.